Well, by golly, it worked that time. Hey, everybody,
There
welcome
we
to
go.
Grounders TV. It's Grounders Day.
Yes, it is.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I say good
How's
morning.
everyone doing?
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
all over. I'm all over the place. Don't worry about me.
Just a good day.
Because I'm trying to share and all that kind of fun stuff. So it's like anyway.
Mhm.
But we have sorry we weren't here last week. We had I had issues. I have a lot of issues, and my issues have issues. But that's what I had about
Mhm.
had issues last week. Um,
Mhm.
but we have a good show this week. We're going to talk about, we were going. I know we told everybody when we left last time that we were going to talk about generators, but Nick reviewed the footage and he said, "I think we're going to be okay."
Yeah, I think we're good
So
on that.
let's get on that.
Yeah.
So now we're going to move to something else that will completely ruin your day: appliances.
Appliances.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
So can be the worst, especially when they don't hook them up.
right? It's like, oh, hey, it's not
We-
working. Is it plugged in?
Well, we get a lot of units that are a company will install like a washer and dryer or the dishwasher, and they won't hook up the drain tube. And next thing you know, they're like, it's the first thing that happens to them on their brand new campers. They ended up getting flooded over something that was completely preventable. It's just so negligent to not hook up the drain hose. I mean, it's probably the first thing that I secure in line to make sure there's no mishaps with it.
But
Yep, he's good. He
yeah,
double checks everything. He even
but
checks stuff I do.
well, yeah, but Joey, we know why.
The
Hey, you know what? I
glasses.
want to butt in real quick.
All
I'll
right,
let
but
him tell
All
the
right.
story.
no, go ahead, butt in,
But
because I cannot
No,
wait for this.
yeah, you tell the story
he
on this one
saved
how
me
you
this
almost
week.
got hit.
He saved me this week. This thing here almost took my fingers off. Go ahead, Nick. Explain the story.
No, well, we had a customer that had brought in a sports coach Pathfinder, and their slide was hanging up on one side, and basically was grinding across the floor. And we were like, "What the heck's going on?" He reaches his hand in underneath the bottom of the slide and tries finagling this thing out of there. And he's like, "I can't get it. You get in there." And I'm like, I'm feeling it. I'm like, I honestly think this is a mouse trap. He's like, "What? You got to be kidding me!" And next thing you know, I had to take a screwdriver in there and set it off so this way it didn't take our fingers out. We had that and a remote. So there's one under your sink. There's usually an opening, an
Yeah,
excess crevice, especially if it's on a slide. And a lot of people will stick things down in there, or things will fall in there, and it gets in the way of the slide.
yep.
And this one happened to be a mouse trap. They're like, "Oh yeah, let me put it on my furnace." And you drive down the road, and it's off the
Just
furnace, and
wiggle
now it's
waggles.
stuck in the slide.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
See,
It was pretty interesting.
I have a
Mhm.
basket for my remotes.
It's a good idea.
It
Yeah.
just and it sits on our fireplace under the TVs, but all my remotes are in there. And of course, I'm weird. I put
Mhm.
labels on all my remotes. Because have you ever gotten
Okay.
that used coach where you get all next thing you know you got like 6 remotes? You're like,
What in the
the hell
Yep.
are these for?
Hmm.
And half of them don't belong to the coach anymore. They've
Yeah.
gotten rid of something.
Anymore.
It's
Yeah.
like, oh, just throw it in there just in case you needed
Yeah.
it. Like, oh yeah,
Mm,
so because I'm going to run out and go buy another piece of equipment that you threw away because it's really cool because you got the remote. Hey.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like when young kids become their parents. You see those commercials, and they're throwing all the
Yeah.
stuff. I've got all these carpets from my other cars. Do you have those cars? No. Well, throw them
No.
away.
They've got all the boxes from stuff that you were used 10 years ago in your attic, and you're
Right.
like, "What the hell is this doing?"
It's just a fire trap.
Me,
But anyway,
me and
but
Nick go camping, and I said to him, I said, Nick, I can't get no TV stations. He's like, what the hell you worried about the TV for? We're camping.
Or
I said, well, I like
camping.
to go to bed and listen to the news and stuff.
right.
And he said, don't worry about it. Well, I didn't need nothing because he took me up to the campground bar, and we almost didn't make it back to the camper.
That's better than
I was
TV
like
all day long.
lopsided on the
Yep.
road.
Mm.
So go ahead, Nick, talk about them appliances.
Yeah, man.
Well, I would say we'd start out with the so your refrigerators. You got three types of refrigerators that what they've been putting in the units. So you have your gas and electric version. The electric is generally 110 volts, and then you can also run it off of 12 volts. The majority of the refrigerators that you get aren't 12 volts when they're absorption fridges. We've been seeing a lot of people uh, transition to the 12 volt fridges because it's something that you can run off your battery. But the biggest thing that people don't understand is the wiring when coming from a regular absorption fridge and switching to a 12 volt. It does
Okay.
not.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Okay.
What's an absorption fridge?
So an absorption fridge. So if you ever seen on your outside your RV, you'll have two vents sometimes, or basically it's like a 2 foot by 18 inch cover.
Panel? Yeah.
And yeah, panel. And so that's generally on units that have an absorption fridge. An absorption fridge is it sends 110 volts to a heating element, and then as the flute heats up, there's a refrigerant in there. It's R717, I believe it is, and that's ammonia. And as the tube heats up, it causes a molecule to release in the top of the fridge and causes it to cool. It's basically like I think it's hydrogen. It's a molecule that separates that causes the cooling.
It is hydrogen.
Hydrogen.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and
So-
a lot of people are really worried about the ammonia fridges because they have or the absorption fridges because they run on gas also, and a lot of people are afraid of propane. The biggest thing
Oh, okay.
is
So-
a lot of
So what are
But-
the different types of refrigerators? Because now I'm curious.
So you have your standard like residential one that a lot of the newer units are coming with, and back in the day, it was kind of it's fact and a myth that the compressors can't take the vibration when going down the road, and we do see bad compressors. Your other one basically is a 12 volt refrigerator, small fridge, or they have now even the bigger ones, the 4 doors ones. And that's the ones you want to make sure you have adequate wiring because the amps that the compressor pulls from say your battery box to the fridge can be significantly higher than what the amperage that the standard wire takes.
Okay.
So your 12 volt fridges will usually pull about 13 amps through that wiring when
Right.
it's trying to supercool, and the old style fridges are only going to pull about like an amp to 2 amps through that wiring, and then you're trying to hook that, and it's just not sufficient. A lot of factories are recommending 8 gauge wire. I think it's a little overboard, but it's better to be, be safe than sorry at the end
Right.
of it.
Sorry.
And if you
What,
do hook
what I
up
want to say is,
Mhm.
what I want to say is, a lot of RV shops aren't paying attention to this wiring, and they're telling the customer, "Listen, we'll just put you a new 12-volt fridge in there." Well, the techs in today's world, they don't understand what's going on. They don't know they need to change this wiring, and sooner or later, it's going to become an issue, or it could cause a fire down the road. So people really need to pay attention to what Nick is saying, especially other techs and
Yeah.
consumers.
And
Now-
if the wiring isn't changed and you do have a warranty issue, one of the first things that they ask you is the gauge size. And if, say, you have a compressor short or board failure, they won't warranty out the fridge or that part because the adequate wiring was not there.
Oh. So you tell me that that can void your warranty right from the manufacturer.
Yes.
Yeah, of the manufacturer of the fridge.
Wow. That's crazy. That just now we're relying on people from the manufacturer to put it in correctly, and I get it and I have a problem, and then the manufacturer goes, "Hey, nope, they didn't wire it right."
Yeah.
From the manufacturer. That's nuts.
Yeah. So
Well, the
or for the people that
manufacturer
take it
wired
out.
it right for the old fridge,
Right. For
but
the
it's the
makers of
new
the
guy
fridge
that's
come-
putting in
gives
the
it-
new fridge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
they're giving
nuts.
that. And a lot of people are, like I was saying, they're afraid of the propane because there's you can get fires. There's one of the biggest things people their like number one RV cause of fires is the refrigerator, and that's it's understandable. But the newer fridges have so many safeties in them. The Norcold was one of the biggest ones for the fires in the back, and they came out with that recall, and I think it was like 09, 010 or 2009, 2010.
Right.
And
So, well, how many different types of fridges are there in the RV camping side?
So you can run LP and electric. You can which electric being 110 or 12 volts, and then your regular residential one, which is going to be 110 also. But it
Right.
really just depends on the two types, like your regular refrigerant or your absorption fridge.
Okay. Gotcha.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I have
Mm.
in my big RV. It's 110, and it's just 110. It's not propane.
Okay.
And then my
So it's probably like a residential fridge.
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
big one.
Yeah.
But the one in the small camper is I think it's
That's
That's
12
12 volt.
volts.
12 volt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was, we had to
Yes.
check that one when the accident
Yeah,
happened.
I
you
pulled that
did.
fridge out and
Mm.
checked it. It's good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Oh,
but and I never but I didn't know that about would have never you see that's the things you just don't think of when you're buying an RV is did or you're getting it repaired is did they put it back correctly? You just assume and we all assume that all these guys that are working on everything are really legit and they know what they're doing. Does that make sense?
yeah. Yeah. It does.
Correct.
Um,
And 9 out of 10 people, I can tell you right now, what we see, do not know what they're doing because just real quick, we had a gentleman come in last week as we spoke about the Onan generator, and they were servicing this thing all the time for him. They were servicing it every 400 hours or something,
Right.
and he brought it in with a little issue. And this is the spark plug we took out of it. Now, how the hell you servicing a generator and
the
look at his
sparkle.
spark plug?
Wow.
It's burnt. It's burned out completely. Okay, so they never changed the plugs, and the generator has 1,700 hours on it, and never checked the
Mhm.
valve clearances because they were up around 10 to 12, and they're supposed to be at 4.
Mhm.
So that's what broke the rocker arm in it.
Yeah.
Is this
Yeah.
firing
Rock
too
arm
hot
broken.
or was it just hitting
This
hard?
It,
it was hitting hard. It
mhm.
burned the valve up a little bit, but
Yeah.
this is Onan certified technician, so
Yeah.
nobody cares what they're doing anymore. They
That
just want to
sucks.
As,
get paid and go home.
as long as they get the paycheck, yeah. The
Long as
stuff
I
going on
show
at
That's
up
home
and
is
I
more
look like I'm
important.
doing some work, even though I'm doing it
Mm-hmm.
wrong, it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
that's
just
why our business is so good. We got guys we pay, and then Nick watches over them, and then we got me and Nick, and we don't even get paid from this business. We've got other sources of income, but we're not in a hurry. We fix it right, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
We
yep.
fixed your RV,
Yeah.
and
Yes,
it's
you
very
did.
important. And then Nick even double checks the stuff I do, and sometime I'll look at the stuff he does, and we give each other feedback. And we've been working together a lot of years. It's funny. We've never had an argument.
Oh
Right.
no no no
It's the
no no no
weirdest
no!
thing ever.
You don't have arguments,
Right.
but you make fun of each other like you argue. Because
Yeah.
I heard you guys
Yeah.
before you. You're like, I can't see John. He's not on there. He's always late. He's always late. We got to be on. And then you started making fun of each other. I'm like, oh my god, that is awesome. If people could see that part of you guys, they'd be like, that's great. That is absolutely great. So
My
anyway,
Yeah,
biggest pet
because I
peeve
was
with
like, that John's messing with us again. He's not on his screen. I'm like,
yeah.
because I don't know all this new, video stuff. I'm like,
Mhm.
he's probably listening to us right now, and we don't even know it. And
I
then you
was, and
come on and say, I heard
I
you.
was in the other side of the studio, and I was listening to you guys go back and forth. I'm like, oh my god, that is so. I should have been
Yeah.
recording that. It would have been
Yeah.
awesome. So
Yeah.
what's another
Yeah.
big and
Yeah.
Nick?
Oh, the other common appliance in your RV is now, there's a lot of people are living in them, even when you're camping, is the washer and dryer. I I have mixed feelings about whether to get the washer dryer combo, like the Splendid that's made out of Italy, or going with like the Whirlpool separate washer, separate dryer. I've been running into a lot of problems with the rear circuit board on the Whirlpool washers.
Mm.
We actually had a customer in where their washer ended up starting, and thankfully, the gray tank wasn't closed and it was running cycles without anybody turning it on. Now,
Oh,
if say if that gray valve wasn't opened,
oh, that'd be a flood
within about
issue,
2 or 3 cycles, you'd have a flood.
right?
And say they were out of town just trying to, and they were maintaining their RV, had it plugged in, and come back and you got dirty soap water and God only knows what else floating around your RV. I mean, that could be
Nope.
a big issue. So that's I have one of the mixed feelings on it. The washer dryer combos don't hold much, and as far as capacity, but I have less issues with them as long as you just take everything out of your pockets. Just like at your house, you empty your pockets, take everything out of your pockets, and don't try to put a queen comforter in the tiny little washer dryer combo. It
You
just
mean
doesn't work.
it won't work?
Mm,
Oh,
Or
it'll
if you're
work.
in the if you're in the concrete
yeah,
industry, don't never ever, even at home,
yeah.
put your work
Don't wash
clothes
your
in the
clothes there.
washer or dryer. Take them to the regular commercial laundromat because
Yeah,
Mhm.
that
ruining theirs.
concrete. Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, the
it
drains
tears
aren't.
stuff up. We've seen it.
Yeah.
Uh,
You know how I wash clothes in mine? I'll put them on. I'll go get in the shower and I'll soap all up and I'll rinse all off and then I'll do it again over and over and over until I'm done. Yeah,
is
that's
that the tip of the day?
I am the tip of the day. If you need to wash them clothes and you're out, just get in the shower, put them all on, and just wash them in there while you're showering. You're good. It's all good. It's
Yeah,
all good. Hang them,
but
and be those people in the RV park that has the big long line of all their laundry
oh,
sitting
just
out there
straight.
drying. Yeah, oh
Yeah.
my God, that's
Uh,
just. I
but
drive into
on
places.
your
I'm like, I don't know if I want to stay here or not.
You see some big
on
underwear hanging on them lines. I tell you what, I
oh,
thought one was a tent. I said to Nick, "Look, they got a tent hanging outside." He said, "Oh, that's somebody's underwear."
but uh,
The
on,
views and
on,
opinions expressed on this show are not entirely of those of Area 52 Media Group or Area 52 TV. Oh, it's funny.
for sure. And on your washer, whether it's the washer dryer combo or just the washer on the bottom, you're going to see a little lip. It's usually about this big, and it's usually about the length of the washer. And when you pop that off, make sure you don't have any water in the system. But on your right side, you're going to have a little black knob, and then my recommendation is have a shop vac with you. And as you turn that, suck the water out, and then there is a filter, and that's going to make sure that your water is draining properly out of the washing machine for the washer dryer combo.
Do you know how many
And
people I've talked to that said doesn't know that there's an actual filter on every washing machine, but they don't
mhm.
know that?
Yeah, yeah, most people don't. I think Maytag was the worst one I ever had to clean
Yep.
the filter on. It was such a nightmare. It's, but
Yep.
that's the appliance industry,
There you go.
and
Well, they don't want to tell
But
anybody because
people
they tell
don't know.
anybody. Yeah, but
mm,
well, that's called job
yeah,
security, or job
yeah,
sales security. Because if you don't tell
mm,
anybody and they get ruined, what are they going to do? They're just going
mm,
to buy a new one because
Well, we
everybody
yeah,
just
wants to
had
throw everything away.
GE Appliance make us a GE Appliance warranty shop. They
yeah.
called
We
us and
are
asked us, and they got
for
us running down to St. Pete next week.
yeah, yeah.
So
We're up to
so
100
far it's
miles
pretty
now
good.
with them.
100
Yeah,
miles.
yeah.
You guys.
They even
You
asked us
can't
to
get
work
no.
on home appliances too, and I'm
So
like, this is crazy. We're not doing
so
home
this is
appliances.
so what I'm seeing is you're going to be hiring a bunch of techs. And you guys are going to become trainers more than you're going to be techs, and you're going to be training all your guys, and they're just going to be going everywhere, right?
It seems like it's going to end up getting that
Yeah.
way, as long
Yeah.
as we can
Yeah, we could
find people to
actually
fit
hire
his shoes.
20 techs, and we'd
Hmm.
have to train them though. But the whole problem is
Yeah,
nobody wants in this field. Nobody wants to work, and
mm,
like me and Nick said, we're not putting our name on
on
something
something.
somebody did and screwed it up because, as you know,
Right.
our reputation is flawless for
Mm,
repair work. I'm not saying
mm,
sales because you always get
yeah,
people complain about a used RV, but
Yep.
our
mm,
repair
sales.
work
Yeah,
is flawless.
Yeah.
we try to do the
So
best we
so
can.
before the show started, and I heard Nick say these words, and you guys weren't
Mm,
hearing me because you weren't plugged in yet, because that's the fun
no,
thing about everything I'm hearing.
yeah,
You said dishwasher in an
yeah.
RV.
Yeah, so
Really?
Yes.
they make us a small compact one, and it's usually a lot of them I see are usually either next to the oven, between the refrigerator and the oven, or they'll be right underneath the sink. I think that they attract more bugs than they're worth. I think people have more of a nightmares. I would say about 80% of the customers that have them installed that we go to, I'm like, oh hey, you got a washing machine? Isn't that pretty cool? And they're like, damn thing don't work.
The
I'm like, well,
yeah.
that's another unsatisfied customer with the thing, or they have the horror story, like was the drain wasn't hooked up, and I'm like, or
Oh.
everything's hooked up except for the power, like, and they tell the customer, like, hey, we tested this, it's flawless, it runs great, but I'm holding the cord right here. What do you mean? Oh,
Yeah.
it's like,
How did you do that?
yeah, how'd you
It's
test this?
Hey, we had one.
magic.
We had one last year come from Jayco factory, brand new. It was brand new. It came from the dealer to our shop, and the
So,
people come in and they said, "Listen, our refrigerator isn't working." So I figure, oh, it's not getting no power. The GFCI blew in the bathroom.
mm,
You know how they pops out.
Right?
So I pulled the refrigerator out and
mm,
I'm looking around for like 20 minutes. I said, God damn, I'm going blind. I got my glasses even out. I had to look at this. I couldn't find a plug. I said, Nick, where do you plug the
mm,
refrigerator in?
yeah,
He's looking around. He
mm,
says, I got to call Jayco. So he calls
mm,
Jayco and they said, oh, well, we must have forgot to put the plug. Just grab a 110 wire from anywhere and hook a plug there. And Nick
mm,
says, no, we don't do it that way. We need a wire and schematic where to pull this wire from. But
Right.
they just wanted us to run a 110 wire to the bathroom wall or whatever
mm,
under the bed
mm.
and hook it to the refrigerator. I said, we're not doing this.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
I refuse.
That
yeah.
makes you
It
go,
was. Mhm.
don't buy one of those.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Uh,
let's talk about campers because we've only got like
mhm,
4 or 5 minutes. Campers and RV. Well, I lost my light there.
mm,
Campers
mm.
versus in RVs. What is the best camper model out there that you would recommend buying?
In
Camper,
today's
not
See
world,
R,
now.
not RV, but camper side.
in
So
today's world,
I,
I couldn't recommend any. Maybe Nick could.
I'm still a Jayco fan. I just I would stay away from anything Forest River.
Hey, hey,
One,
hey!
it's
I have one of those. Thank you very much.
w-
You
one
worked on
is the
it.
craftsmanship. I know, but one is the
Uh,
craftsmanship, and two is the company does not care.
no,
It's
they
one
do
thing.
not.
Yeah. It's one thing
Yep.
having is buying a unit that has some flaws and stuff to it. The reason why I like Jayco and Thor is because every one of our customers that have had a problem, they stood behind
Mm,
um, with no like very little back and forth. You know, it's just pretty much like you're arguing over documentation is like the biggest thing,
right.
and then even. And but Forest River, I've had more customers needing a lawyer to get something done than any other company I've ever dealt with.
Yeah.
The next one, Winnebago makes nice little travel trailers. Winnebago overall is a good company. There's certain products that they use on their units that I'm not fond of, and it's usually a sealer. They've always had their own roof sealer that they used. It's more of a silicone based, in my opinion, than a polyurethane,
Hmm.
which I doesn't last very long.
Right.
Um, but they, but yeah, it
So,
would be Jayco, Thor, and Winnebago.
what do you think about the iconic? Was it the silver the streamer?
Oh, the Airstream.
Yeah, the
No, the
Airstream.
Airstream.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not really, we don't get too many of them, mainly because they have their own dealerships that they go back to.
Okay.
But the price you're paying, I saw some of them at the auction, and it's like a 30-foot travel trailer for like
Right.
$106,000, and
It's
it
crazy
looks,
expensive.
yeah. And if you're looking at the inside of it, you're like, okay, seems like a retro, but with a price tag that's 4 or 5 times the amount that you didn't need.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense. But they do hold value. I mean, we have customers that we service them and that were built in like the 70s. So I
Yeah.
mean, and
They do
they're
hold a
still
well.
in really good shape.
Right. Right.
I mean, it's
So, what
but
do you think about coaches, RVs, the big,
mm,
the big boys? Who would you recommend, and who would you say I would buy and I would never buy? Oh, that's right. You can't. You got to be
I
careful
mean,
That
because you don't want to
it
make
would
everybody mad.
it would
that's a
I,
hard one
I
because we do so much warranty work for these
yeah,
companies,
Yeah, you got to be
and
good.
people
Yeah,
are going to be seeing the show.
yeah,
it's still
Forest River,
it's
we
I
don't care
still
about. We don't care.
yeah
yeah.
overall it's still
I
I
love
still
my
like Thor. I
Bounder.
still like Jayco. Fleetwood, you know, it makes a decent product.
Yeah.
The biggest complaint I get about the Fleetwood now is that they don't hold the quality that they used to. So the newer stuff just isn't. But
See,
you know,
and that's
that's just
why
industry.
I listen to your dad
It's,
What
and I listen to
mm,
you, and I'm not going to buy a new one.
mm,
I'm going to keep mine.
mm. Yeah,
what do you think
uh,
about Tiffin, Nick?
uh, well, Tiffany was bought out by Jayco and Thor.
Correct.
So
Oh,
they're pretty much that. The the quality's decent. I mean, overall,
Oh, we got a
we've had
minute
a
left.
couple.
We need
Yeah,
tips. I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
yeah.
off, buddy. But we got
Oh,
about 50
that's all
something
right.
seconds. I got to have some tips from you. I love the refrigerator
So,
one. That's going to be awesome.
no, so the basis when you're done using your camper and you're going to defrost and you turn your fridge off is put a towel in the freezer section because all that ice is going to turn into water. It's going to go somewhere. And then also on the bottom of your fridge is put the towel. Is either you'll have bins down there, just slide the bin out and then put the towel down there. Leave the fridge open a little. Say about an inch or two. They make little stops that you put in the fridge to keep them open. And if you have baking soda, put that in there. That'd be my one tip for the fridges. And we see a lot of water damage on campers underneath the refrigerator, and that's because of that defrost. When it happens, it ends up
Gotcha.
rooting the wood.
That's awesome. I would have never thought about that. But hey, we've got 7 seconds left to go. Thanks for watching, everybody, today. We appreciate it. Listen to these guys. They know what they're talking about. And if you need help, go see them. They will help you. We'll see everybody next
Happy
week on
camping.
Grounders TV.